live in a row. Is anybody sick of me yet? I wonder if anybody's sick of me yet. Anyway, we got the third live in a row. This is our second to last live of the week. Dude, I'm going hard. I am going hard on the lives this week. So we're getting into more social media stuff today. So stay on if you want it. Remember, we got the free ebook in the old link in bio, which I don't know why I didn't link it in my story because you can do that. So again, for welcome back, people, we're going to be taking questions. If anybody's got any social media questions, I got some topics that I'm going to cover, but if anybody's got social media questions, how to grow on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that type of stuff, I'll stay on if you take your shirt off. Dude, it is pretty hot in here, so that could happen. It might happen. But today I kind of want to go over some of the top questions that I've got so far on some of these lives. And one of them was filming equipment for social media and doing things, especially if you're an outdoor adventurer or an outdoor creator, because that's kind of like what I'm focusing on is people that are in the outdoors and want to get into the outdoor niche of like social media and things like that. So here's my advice for filming equipment. And this is all you really need. This is all you can get away with. You can use a phone as like your primary thing. If anybody's ever watched my JMT stuff on YouTube, that's all I used. I would get questions all the time. People were like, what did you use to film that? What did you use to film it? It was an iPhone. It was an iPhone 11, in fact, that I picked up right before I actually got on trail because I broke my camera. So you can totally get away with just a phone for filming your outdoor adventures. Now, one thing though that I would recommend is people always try to get me to do it, but it was a GoPro, and I got a GoPro 9, and that kind of like revolutionized the way that I film. Super tiny. The thing about filming your adventures is you want everything to be super streamlined, super simple, and really light. The best camera to have is the one that you're actually going to use. So that's why I go with like my GoPro and my phone as my primary ones. Now I just picked up this bad boy. Actually, I have all my camera stuff here. My GoPro, and then we got a drone. So this is a DJI Mini 2. I actually got it on Facebook Marketplace from somebody that got divorced. So it kind of sucked for him, but it was good for me because it was pretty cheap. But I got to say, if you're making long form content, especially, drones drastically increase the production value of it. This is my GoPro, and you notice I got a little weird thing here. Here's a really good tip. So like what I'm using for a mic here, this is called like a dead cat. What you do is you actually grab you get a piece of the dead cat, you put it on some double-sided tape here, and that's over the audio of the GoPro, and it just cuts down on the wind. The audio on the GoPro, amazing. Again, people told me to get one of these for the longest time. I was really resistive, but obviously POV shots, they're awesome, but it's really awesome. Like when I was on the Colorado Trail, I just put it in this little, I just used this little tripod that I just kept it on. So I would set up my walking shots with it. Super easy because on the JMT, I was using my phone, and it was kind of a pain in the ass to grab my phone as I was navigating, put it on a tripod, set it down, take it off. It kind of sucked. So GoPro was really a good thing. Now, the one thing with the GoPro, if you're shooting with a GoPro, you're shooting outdoor shots with the GoPro, there's a lot of different settings for that. You have like a POV, which is like the wide angle, but when you're in a wide angle, and like say you're in the forest or something, you don't want to do it wide angle because it's going to really kind of bend the trees. It really makes the whole entire view look super, super weird. So that's the only thing you need to get used to on the GoPro. Otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory there. Now, I had another question that was asking like, how long does it usually take to film stuff, especially for like short form things like Instagram Reels, TikToks, or things like that? And really the short answer is if you batch content, or if you batch produce your content, that means select one day out of the week where you're brainstorming and you're filming everything, you are going to be ahead of the curve because you are going to be able to do it just all in that one day. And then you can have the subsequent days as posting days. And so you don't have to keep going back and forth trying to think of stuff, film stuff, grabbing all your film stuff, refilming, setting everything back up like lights and everything like that, and then having to set it back up the next day. So instead, you're taking care of it all in one day during the week. It's a really good way to do it. Now, I've really been trying to hammer home the point to everybody on these videos this week that the best thing to do right now is to do short form content. And there was 2 people that I worked with on a course that I was creating. And I kind of want to show you the results that they got. And they literally have, one of them just created the account. So let me show you this right here. I think I can spin this around. Yeah, you can see, okay, you can see my lights, you can see my Instagram, that's my YouTube. Check this out. Okay, this is Alyssa, she's awesome. So I was working with her. She's got 144 followers, all right, 144. The second, let's look at this here. Her third ever reel that she posted, she got 10.7 thousand views on it. I don't know if you can see that right there. 10.7. The second one, 10.7 as well. Okay, if we go into that, why was that like a successful reel? One, and it's because of what we talked about earlier. Inspire, educate, or entertain. And so with this one, I want you to kind of think about what was it that she did right. And it was definitely the educate. 3 hikes based on level of difficulty, San Diego. If anybody's looking at going to San Diego, this would be great. Now, the other thing that she did great was her caption. Look how long this caption is. People are going to be sitting here reading this caption while this is getting views in the background. That's a super, super easy thing to do to get more views on your reels or any type of short form content, really. Now, the second person go look at, Fanny Pack Sam. I was working with him. Again, look at this. 23.6 thousand views on this reel right here. And he's got 755 followers. So, I don't know. You tell, whoops. Oh my gosh. So you tell me, is there like a really good opportunity here to grow on some of these short form video formats or not? Because both of these people had less than 1,000 followers and they're getting 10 times the amount of reach that their following has. And that's just on Instagram Reels. And that was after we kind of talked about like things to look for in your post, thinking about inspiring, educate, or entertaining. And they get almost 11 times the amount of views that they have for followers, which is quite incredible if you ask me. Now, let's say that those 2 people continue on with what they got going there, right? Let's say they continue on going with what they got going. They start getting more views. They start getting brand pitches. They start pitching themselves to brands and things like that. What could their life look like? And what have I seen so far just kind of with my journey of social media? But before I do that, I'm going to ask you, like, what if, let's say that you were able to make a good amount of side money on social media, especially if you already have a 9-to-5 job. What would you do more of, or what would you do less of if you had that opportunity? So you're bringing in more money on the side. What would you do either more of because you had more money, or what would you do less of because you had more money, maybe to hire something out? Let's hear it. Anybody in the chat? I'll go first. What the heck would I do? Number 1, obviously get in the outdoors more, right? Jesus. Maybe I'll have to do these lives without a shirt. Maybe that'll increase the engagement, huh? Jiu-jitsu, yes. Jiu-jitsu. Actually, not to get too off topic, but yeah, right there. We got the belts. Look, I'm training for a 100-miler right now, so jiu-jitsu ain't a thing right now. More outdoor trips. I want to through hike the AT. Okay, that's what I'm kind of looking for too, right there. Yes, you say you're getting this side income. You're now able to take maybe an extended leave from that 9 to 5 because you got a padding from that, or you are able to make content while you're on the AT, and that's a tax write. That's literally a tax write-off. Doing the entire AT could be an entire tax write-off for you, which just simply means it's gonna the travel, the food, everything that you did on the AT. If you make a documentary on there, you can actually deduct that from your taxes. That's going to lower your income bracket, and that's going to lower the amount of taxes you have to pay. You can even get like money back, and so everything would be like a business expense from that trip. Travel more. I want to go out west to hike. Adirondacks, Catskills with the West Coast is gorgeous. Yeah, hit me up if you need any. Hit me up if you need any advice on the West Coast, because obviously I'm over there right now. So, yes, so obviously travel more. I think that's probably the most common thing that I hear. And you know what? That's right. It's exactly like what I want to do as well. So, but how is that possible? Like, how could we? Dang it! I lost my thing again. How can we actually get there though? If that's what we want, how can we get there from social media? Like, how does that work? So I've already kind of named a couple things in my past videos. So if you haven't seen those, you can go back and watch those on my account. But the number one thing is probably brand deals. So I asked everybody in my last one to talk about a brand that they really would love to work for. And so brands are hiring right now. Brands are hiring for video editors, for people that post on their account and things like that. But then also, if you're able to grow your account, then you can also get brands that are asking for you to post something about their product on your account, and they'll pay you money for that, right? The other thing is they have Instagram bonus right now. So once you are in creating the reels, Instagram starts trusting you. They're going to put you in their bonus program. You can make about up to $200 a month. That's usually what I'm doing. So the no shirt policy, maybe next time. So that's what it looks like. Now, here's what it looks like for me currently. Because I had one viral video, literally just one viral video in 2020, that's what kind of catapulted this whole thing. And I was like, oh, maybe I am kind of good at video. Because of that, I'm now making as much in 1 month. No, how would I say this? In 1 month in my 9 to 5, I'm making, in 2 weeks, I am making as much as I'm making in 1 month I'm in my 9 to 5. So I'm making as much money in half the time from all the brand stuff that I'm doing, from some of the bonuses. I work for LMNT. You probably have seen me post about them. They're an electrolyte company. You should go follow them on TikTok. I actually just post on their page. For Mountain House, I give them videos. For Tannery, they're a sunscreen company as well. So I'm like working for these brands because they don't have the people necessary that understand the short form video content that are in-house. So they're hiring people, and that could totally be you if you're able to grow your own account. Okay. So like basically that's awesome that you love Element, because I do too. Yeah, I actually, what's funny about that, Benny, was I was literally making videos for them, and I would post to their account, and I would screw up their name. I would literally screw up their name, and they sent me an email once. They're like, hey, it's actually Element, not LMNT. I'm like, oh, okay, I got you. Anyway, so we got a comment there. Was just getting 1 to 5K views, and now down to 200, 500. Why? That's awesome. Good for you, man. I kind of want to check out your page if I can do that right now. I think maybe in the future, if people are interested, I might do like just kind of a short review of people's accounts and then give them some feedback about what they could do. But I think one thing with the Instagram algorithm, well, with any of these short form video algorithms, is you want to make sure that you're inspiring, educating, or entertaining. And for Javier, if you are able to look at your 1 to 5K views, and I want you to write down on a piece of paper what are the commonalities to all of those reels. What was it that you think made those reels tick off really well? Okay. And then go to the ones that underperform. And we're all going to have ones that underperform. So, it could just be a one-off thing as well, but we're all going to have ones that unfortunately underperform. We can't have bangers every single time, right? So, but look at the ones that performed. Were you inspiring, educating, entertaining people? Okay. And how are you doing that? Were you using a trending sound or trending music? What were you doing? Was there text on the screen? Did you have a really good hook? The hook is probably the most important point out of any of this stuff, is having a really good hook to create that curiosity to make sure somebody wants to stay on your reel and keep watching it. Okay. So those are some things that I would just kind of point out right there. Yeah, well, I got a lot of views on my shirtless reel too. So going back to what your life could look like if this popped off. So freedom of time seems to be the most common thing that people on here really want. And that's awesome, dude. Freedom of time seems to be the most thing that people want. Like I said, right now I'm making in 2 weeks what I make in 1 month at my regular job. And so right now I'm kind of transitioning out of my regular job. Shh, don't tell them. No, they already really know. They already pretty much know. But I'm pretty much transitioning out of that. And here's the coolest thing is that with social media, you can work from anywhere. Remember when at least I got to work remotely during the pandemic? Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore now. We're in office, which sucks. And now, if I'm able to make a job out of my social media, I can move anywhere I want to in the country, which is what I'm already kind of looking at right now. Now, here's the coolest thing about this is that when you are working for a brand and they're paying you, let's say they're paying you pretty good money, right? But you're living in an expensive area because that's where your job was currently and you had to be there. Move to a less expensive area. You're going to still be making that much money, but now it's going to be worth more in a different area. And maybe that area isn't as, uppity or whatever as what you're currently living in. But your money is going to go farther. And so you don't have to do as much work if you want to maintain the same amount of lifestyle that you had in the current state that you're in. So I can just kind of think about this off the top of my head. I live in Oregon, super expensive state. I'm going to be getting out of here because of that. So the reason why I'm going to be moving and the reason why I can afford now a bigger house is because I now have a job, plus I have all this side work coming in. So you're able to kind of supplement that and get a bigger house because you're in a different state. But then once you're in that different state, you're still getting that money in. And again, it's worth more. Now, when you're in social media, there's going to be kind of a scale of things that there's going to be a kind of a scale of payment, let's say. If you start growing on social media, the first thing that you're going to notice is you're going to be asked to do something for exposure. So what that means is that some brand will contact you and they'll say, hey, Kaylee, we want you to write this blog article for us, and we're going to give you exposure in the form of it's going to be posted on our site, which is a really good thing to do when you're starting out. So you can always reach out to brands. They're always looking for people to write a blog for them or do video work for them for just exposure. This is really good to build your portfolio for when you start pitching it to bigger brands. But you don't want to do this forever because obviously, you're going to be working for free, but it is a great way to get your foot in the door. When I first started in 19, I wrote some blog posts for Far Out Guides, is what they're called now, but they used to be called Gut Hook. I wrote a blog post for them. I was doing some videos for the Trek in 2020. And then I started realizing that I needed to grow my own brand. So I kind of stopped and I started focusing on my own brand. But the second thing is that then brands will start hitting you up for free product. So they'll give you free product in exchange for a social media post or something, or like trying to basically promote their stuff, right? This kind of comes in relentlessly. Once you get to like 1,000 followers, you're going to be getting hit up relentlessly with this. So that's the second part. And free product is great, but you got to make sure it fits your niche if you're going to be promoting it. Because if you are promoting a coffee maker and you don't drink coffee, and it doesn't really make sense to bring this giant coffee maker backpacking with you, then it probably is going to turn off your audience. So you got to think about like what it is that the free product is giving you. Now, some of the times, again, it makes sense to take some of this stuff so you can build your portfolio. So you can say, hey, I worked with X company, and X company. And then you can take that to another brand as kind of like your online resume. But again, make sure that it fits with your niche. Now, the third thing is paid. This is the holy grail. This is the holy grail of, I would say, if a creator. And probably the best thing. Oh, man. Thanks, man. Thanks for the badge, Javier. Appreciate it, dude. Hit me up after this. We'll take a look at your reels. The first thing that you want to do with when you get paid is you want to make sure, or your goal is to get a retainer client. A retainer client just simply means that they are somebody that you retain month after month. So right now, Element for me is a retainer client. Amazon is a retainer client. These retainer clients that provide me monthly income that I just do a total now of 20 videos for each of them, or a total of them. And that's really good because you know that is coming in. But not all of them will be retainer clients. A lot of them will be like, hey, we want to do this. We'll give you this amount of money. And it's very transactional. It feels kind of icky. And I was kind of done with it. I did that for a little bit. And then I was just like, wait, these brands don't really follow up with me. This is like kind of weird. So if I want to have trust with my audience, that I actually trust these brands, like I want it to be a long-term relationship. So then everything that contacted me afterward, I was like, hey, look, I don't want to work with you unless it's going to be like a long-term partnership. And some of them understood it, some of them didn't. Some of them will put you on a trial for a little bit, which is a good idea. But again, just make sure that it fits with your niche. So let's see here. Everybody in the chat, you guys need to grab my free ebook that is in my bio. You got to grab the free ebook. You got to let me know what you think about it. You just put your email in there, and then it gets sent to you. And it's everything basically that I talked about from yesterday, and all good stuff. But this is going to be TikTok and Instagram. But one more question for the chat. Does anybody in the chat? Let's see if this is different from yesterday. Does anybody in the chat have TikTok? Anybody at all? Anybody got TikTok in the chat? You know I've been hammering on TikTok. Yes, awesome. So, okay. Are you uploading videos to it? Awesome. Glad you grabbed. Awesome. Thanks about the ebook. Just started on 3 weeks ago. Awesome. Do, but don't use it much. Understandable. Love ebook. Well put together. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. So with TikTok, guys, I've been kind of hammering on this. Yes, exactly. Repost your reels. That's exactly it. So you can either do it from TikTok to Instagram or Instagram to TikTok. I prefer TikTok to Instagram, but some people will do it Instagram to TikTok. Now, Benny, I'm not sure if you know about this. You probably already do, but when you're posting in there, actually, I don't know if Instagram has a watermark, but I'm assuming it does. I actually do think it does. Make sure we're using a watermark remover when you're posting it to them, right? Otherwise, the algorithm isn't going to like that. So Snap IG, I believe, is the app for that. Actually, it's a website, Snap IG. And then conversely, SnapTik is to remove the watermark from your TikToks to your Instagram. But anyway, super easy thing to do, guys. I just don't want anybody to miss this opportunity because, again, it's changed my life. So, yeah. So, Benny, try. It's called Snap IG, I believe. Just Google that, and it'll say watermark remover, and it's like a browser. You got to use it on, if you're using an Apple, you got to use it on Safari. Don't use it on the Google app for whatever reason. It doesn't work on that. But yeah, Snap IG, do that, and it'll get it off for you. So, any other questions on TikTok or Instagram? Also, Benny, good. I'm glad that you're repurposing YouTube Shorts. Throw it on there. I just had one, just gained me 30 subs, I think, yesterday, which was awesome. Oh, nice. Finsta. Okay, cool. Is that an app, Javier? I think I've heard of that one. But like I said, YouTube Shorts, same thing. You can cross-populate. So I just had one, gained me like 30 subs, which is hard to do in YouTube. YouTube's pretty tough to grow in for whatever reason. But YouTube Shorts, which again is just repurposing, makes it a lot easier. So tomorrow. So we have some like serious, I've seen some names in here pop up a little bit more as I've been doing this.